Good morning. Good morning, everyone. How are you? People from Nairobi, watu wa Nairobi. You're feeling some warmth, eh? Yeah? Some nice warmth. No, we came from the freezer, so we are appreciating. At least we can shine a little bit, eh? My name is Josephine, for those who don't know me. Josephine Wawira. I'm the Communications Officer at Sustainable Inclusive Business under the Kenya Private Sector Alliance. I would like to welcome you today to the launch of the Coast 2 project that is happening or taking place at Pride in Shanzu in Mombasa. And for those who are watching us online, on Zoom, YouTube, and Facebook, we are live. We appreciate you joining us from wherever you are. One thing that we have appreciated about the advent of COVID-19 is that we have learned not to be limited by the boundaries, yeah? So technology has brought us all together, and it is one of the most sustainable ways that we have had to adopt, okay? So to start us off, I would like to give each one of us a moment to do a quick introduction. So it's just going to be your name, your organization, and say hi from wherever you come from, all right? So that is for the people in the room. We start from there. Just make sure that you're audible enough so that everyone can hear you. Asante sana. Karibu. Thank you for coming. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning. I am Malik from SIB-K.
Thank you. Faith?
Good morning, everyone. My name is Faith. We came from the Kenya Private Sector.
Asante.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Anna Tuda from KEPSA.
Karibu.
My name is Amari from KEPSA.
Asante.
My name is Karen Bomsha. I'm going to take on inclusive business at KEPSA.
Thank you. Hello?
Good morning, everyone. I am Martha Chavito from KEPSA.
Thank you.
My name is Rob.
Thank you. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Muhammad from
Karibu.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Timothy from the Office of the Youth Representative.
Karibu. Okay.
Dennis Kiplagat, Sustainable Inclusive Business and KEPSA.
Asante. Thank you. Karibu.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Francis Valera, Sustainable Inclusive Business.
Asante. And we, of course, have people who are helping us go global, go in the cloud. Eh? So, I wish to welcome each one of you once more. And I would like you to allow me for a moment to appreciate one of us who was a pioneer of this project last year, who helped us launch the first phase of the project and saw us through to the very end of the training sessions. Unfortunately, we don't have her today because it was her time to leave us. And I'm referring to Stella Ndirango. So if you could all just stand up and allow us to give her 1 minute of silence. in her honor. I am sure that the launch of the second phase of this project, if she's watching us from wherever she is, she's really happy to see this happen. So from now on, just 1 minute of silence. Thank you very much. You may have your seats. It is now with great pleasure that I would like to invite Karin Boomsma, who is the Director of Sustainable Inclusive Business, to introduce the project that is SIB, as well as the COAST project. Karibu sana.
Good morning, everyone. I'm very happy to be here, and with us a lot from Nairobi. So I think everyone from Nairobi needed a coastal break where we go a little slower. It doesn't mean that we don't achieve as much, but I think we achieve the same in a slower pace. So thank you all for being here. I'm really happy to actually share a bit more about this project. Very quick flashback. When we started Sustainable and Inclusive Business, which was 6 years ago with my friend Ehud, we started talking about sustainability and trade, and sustainability in the private sector, and how that actually develops, that it is actually more than corporate social responsibility. It had actually to do with how we run businesses, who we are as citizens, and that's all coming from within. That's not something you do on the side. That's actually a way of working together and a way of acting. And then you talk about behavioral change. And I've seen in the last 6 years, since we started, a really nice development. And this project reflects all of that. And I see the enthusiasm within my team and beyond my team about it. And when we started talking about private sector and sustainability, a lot of the times we thought, or NGOs thought, or government thought, oh yeah, let's do also something with the private sector. But it was never developed collectively. And over the years, we've actually developed multi-stakeholder platforms. Is now a very hot and sexy word, but it's actually a very trendy word because it works. It's not let's develop something and later on check it out whether the government is aligned or is the private sector able to implement. We're actually working from the start on a project and looking at who has which role. We need enabling policies to be able to operate and change problems we actually and challenges we're facing. If we want to change waste management, we're not only changing a behavior of littering, but we're changing actually a behavior of how we perceive materials. It's only waste because we call it waste. It's waste because it doesn't, I don't need it anymore. I've decided that it's for me, it's of no use. So, and then if there's no proper waste management in place, because a lot of other people with me also value it as waste, you create actually a massive problem. And in this project, it's great that we go to the ground and work from the start with the county government, with the national government, with the private sector, and with people that are facing actually a pile of garbage on which they most of the time just live, which is very unhealthy. And solving a waste management problem is not a problem. We can just say, oh, let's organize some trucks and then we have solved the problem. Because every day we use the same products and the same materials. And we make something out of it and then we dispose it, we waste it. So at the moment we are currently in a linear economy, and this project is actually focusing on how to transition on multiple levels to a circular economy. The COAST project has a pretty name because it's called the COAST project and it's here. But the COAST project also has a pretty name because it means actually I'm going to read it out loud. It's very long. Creating opportunities and alleviating poverty through sustainable trade. What does that mean? I think the other aspect I would like to highlight is circular economy doesn't mean only a recycle economy. A circular economy is actually an economy in which nothing grows forever, but we try to have a thriving society. Because if we live on a dustbin, it's not healthy for us. So it's not only healthy because it's not healthy for the environment, but ultimately the environment and what's leaking into the environment comes back to us and will affect us. And so therefore we see actually that inclusion and sustainability is linking all the different ministries as well. If you talk about trade, but you don't operate in a sustainable manner, you will create problems on health, you will create problems on the environment, and you won't have a thriving society. The other exciting part about this project is that we focus mainly on women and youth, and I think that's quite important. If we look at future-proof solutions, we need to address that the youth is going to bring us forward. The direction we are taking very soon won't be us anymore, but it's the young generation. And in Africa and in Kenya, we will have a massive population that is much younger than I am. So I think to work with them and to create opportunities and to look at materials rather than waste and look at opportunities to actually create a society you want to live in and where you can be happy to actually assist others and at the same time making a living, I think that's really great. What we will do as well is in the trainings, you also look at how can you actually not only change your mind about what is waste and how can we deal with it, but what can actually be entrepreneurial business models that work, that really work. They solve a problem and in the meantime they create a job as well. How do you do that? And I think, again, it's really crucial that we are here all together on all levels, because it's not as simple as you pick waste and then you will get money for it because you can recycle it. I wish it was like that. But at the moment, how we collect waste, how dirty and contaminated it is, it's not always that you have so many recyclability in all the materials you find. But maybe the option is, for some materials, you can reuse it so it doesn't have to become waste. For others, you can innovate on the materials. And maybe also you can actually create a value in providing a service rather than being paid only for your waste. As all of us here, I think, and it's quite exciting to see everyone, I'm also happy that we finally can meet sometimes, not too much, but a bit. I think that's why this project is very close to our heart, with our feet on the ground and with our ears wide open. And thank you for being here.
As to appreciate our director, Karin Bomsma, for just taking us through a little bit of what you would want to know about sustainable inclusive business and the project. I think last time you saw her was on Zoom. She was not able to join us due to travel restrictions. COVID came in last year, and even now we're trying to just keep a safe distance so that we are all still healthy. So before I go to the successes, I think Mombasa is a great place. As I was coming towards the airport, there's a joint that you buy some food. And I saw on the menu there was something written Bazoo. And I was trying to wonder to myself, what is Bazoo? So I went and you know, it's the drive-through. So I went there and just being interested. So when they said, please make your order, and then I said, Bazoo. So I went to the other side and I got a burger. So nowadays I'm wondering, when someone was calling Mheshimiwa here Bazoo, I was wondering, do they mean that he has eaten the Bazoo too much or what? Anyway, Going on to the COST project, as Karin just mentioned, is creating opportunities and alleviating poverty through sustainable trade. In the first phase, it was a bit interesting. Just to train the youth, we were aiming to train about 100 youth, but we managed to train 102 extra. And actually, the youth were very interested. We did it in two cohorts. So cohort 1 was about 50, and the second cohort was about 52. And you could see the interested youth just trying to understand the concept of circular economy, waste to value concepts, and also just triggering their mind in terms of how to develop business proposals. And the interesting thing that we did was in drafting a proposal, we didn't tell them to write a 15-page proposal, just use the business canvas, which is a single piece of paper that you can generally write your 9 segments of a business in it. And that's, to me, I mean, seeing the youth being interested in that kind of business, in adopting circularity was indeed one of the successes that I saw. And then the other thing was also engaging with the county government. Of course, the Department of Youth and also the Department of Environment. Last year, I think they were drafting the Sustainable Waste Management Bill? Yeah, I think by now, Muhesh was telling me that they were, it was being, it passed through the House, right, the Assembly, which was also a success. I mean, seeing what the county is doing and linking that to what the COST project was doing. The other aspect, of course, is when we also managed to have the youth develop proposals. The one-pager that I'm talking about using the business canvas. So it was about 19 individuals and groups who presented proposals to us. And by that time, we had involved the revolving fund. There was a youth fund. I think there was a women fund. And also the Department of Youth and the Department of Environment came in to be as a panel. And out of the 19, 13 of them got a seed funding to be able to start a business. So the aim there was not to give them the whole amount, but also encourage them to apply for some funding from the revolving fund that the county has set aside. And then we also had another session just to take them through how to apply for the funds. So we are generally seeing interest from the youth, because we are focusing on women and youth, in going into business, using different material that you would have considered waste. We saw very interesting proposals there being written by the youth and women in that space where we were training them. So, and of course there were other challenges, one of them including COVID, and the other including, I think in any place they always say, they always talk about something which is financial constraint, right? Because I think so many of the youth also wanted to get a hold of the prize so that they're also able to start. In the initial phase, I think we were given a list of about, 300 people. So meaning that there are so many people who are willing to go through the training, right? And that's why we have the COST 2, to continue from where we are. But the different thing that we're going to do is beyond just training the youth, we'll also be going into the households to train them on the aspect of separation of waste at source. So linking it to what the county government is doing, to be able to get the trash out of the house and convert it to cash. They say trash to cash. So that's one aspect we are seeing. And indeed, the circular economy concept is a very interesting one, which has always been there in our cultures. I think if you read it in a textbook or the definition, you think it's something that was discovered the other day. But thinking back, I think our ancestors used to use the concept without really naming it circular economy. For example, if you look at a cow, they used to take out the skin, make some cloth out of it. And then I'm hearing myself talk, so I was wondering who's that who is having the same voice as myself. And then there was, you also used to take the hooves, make glue out of it. There was also the intestine, right? Mutura, stuff inside, something inside in it, eat the meat. And I don't think they used to throw the head, right? I think there's some meat in there and, and the bone together with the tongue. So I think they always used to take everything and make use out of it. And even the cow dung, it's used for the farms as manure. So the concept, if you look at it critically, it was there before. It's only that I think at some point we stepped out of that zone a little bit, and we're being reminded to go back and make use of the resources that we have. So I won't talk too much because I'm sure the speakers that will come before me will also dig deeper into what the project will be looking at and the different things that the project will be focusing on. So at this moment, I want to welcome two representatives of the youth groups that we were able to train in the first phase, just to give us a little bit of, from their side, what the experience was. It's more or less like, them having us get the experience from their side. So I want to welcome Hadija as a first speaker. Karibu. 1, 2, 3. Now that was a faint one. I need you to hit it hard and get it on time. 1, 2, 3. Awesome.
Good morning, everyone. Please excuse me, I'm short, I think. I don't know if I'm... There. Good morning once again. My name is Hadija Salim. I'm from Waste Collectors, Safarini Waste Collectors and KEPSA. We got the training from KEPSA, and I'm really happy to be here because it has been a successful project for all of us. What we've learned is the best so far, and it's going to benefit us in the next life, inshallah. Because we learned so many, and we used to learn how to recycle different kind of waste, how to turn foodstuffs into manure, papers, and all that, of which it was the best. We increased opportunities for the youths, because for us, some of us have had the side hustles. So we will work, mainly we did in waste collection. So sometimes not all of us are there to collect waste. So we had to, I'll say employ, I can use the word employ. So we did invite other youths to help us. So we used to pay them, even if it's a little, but at least it will help so that they will not engage in criminal activities and doing drugs and all that. Because we all know Mombasa is a drug zone, like they always say, but inshallah it's going to be okay. So another one, it was the adoption of safe management of waste. We did learn, with the help of Stella and the rest, we did learn how to adapt waste into making it safely and how to use it, because people know waste as waste. But we got to know that waste can turn into money, waste can turn into so many things. Yes, we did have some challenges, but the challenges were not as many as the benefits that we got. The challenges were, we could not, yes, we did get funds, but we applied for the loans from government funds, but it was not much. We are still waiting to get funds from government and all that. And group members we've got competition from other groups. The competitions were, you can collect the garbage, but others will come and collect the garbage in a lower price, of which the money or sometimes other people cannot even pay. They say, so wenyewe ni hao ni mahasla, hatuwezi lipa hiyo pesa yenye nyinyi mtaka mtuchukulie na garbage. But all in all, we did start, and we are still continuing and collecting the garbage. Thank you so very much.
Let's appreciate a 1, 2, 3. I would like to invite the second speaker, Naftal, who was also part of the trainees through the Coast One project. So let's also hear from him and his experience. Karibu.
Morning, everyone. My name is Naftal, and the second name is quite a mouthful. I hope your stomachs are full enough to digest it. My name is Naftal Kobags. So I hope it augurs well with you. So I was among the groups that received the training in Chuda, so whatever they are saying, I'm a testimony to that. It's just not empty words, but we were glad that we received this training. So for the first time, I would like to say that the training was a success in that the policies that are cascaded from the top down dovetailed well with the needs of Chuda residents. Because I would like to say that for most of you, I know come from Nairobi, but for those who are here in Mombasa, can attest to that the area around Chuda Creek has been an area whereby illegal dumping has been happening for quite some time. The area around Moroto and the Kachonjo. So for those who know the area can attest to that. So from this training, youths got empowerment, and we managed to stop the routes that these rogue garbage collectors used to pass through and get access to the creek. And what was happening down at the creek was that these rogue guys were reclaiming the sea, and from the resulting plots, they will sell it for their own benefit. So with liaison with the county, we've managed to stop this. And in the same vein of doing away with these illegal dump sites, and in tribute to the late Madam Stella, we decided to have a cleanup exercise next to Chuda Primary. For those who know Chuda area, can attest to that. It was an area that was encroaching as a dump site, and we managed to do a cleanup exercise. And till now, we are putting up youths who are what can I say? They are patrolling the area to avoid the area coming back as a dump site. So, as a group, from Roadside Self-Help Group, we decided to also come up with we were making our initial program that we received seed funding from was making egg trays. But because of the limited funding from the project, we applied for revolving fund, which has since not come through, but we're hoping that the county will reciprocate the same faith. So, notwithstanding, we decided to cascade down to making notebooks from waste paper. And again, to boost our coffers, we decided to indulge in groceries, whereby from there we made carrier bags. As you all know that paper bags are now out. We have the Uhuru bags, sorry to call them that way, but that is the common name in the streets. So we decided to do away with that, and we made the carrier bags. And the business is doing well, and we've boosted our coffers substantially. So we would like to thank the group and the SIB team and the French Embassy for that opportunity to train us. And the empowerment we've received, not only in Chuda, it has been also without, because we also know that environmental consciousness has been infectious in a positive way. And we also tried to indulge in waste collection, whereby we managed to receive contracts from Tononoka area, which is without the Chuda zoning. So the challenges we got there was there was some backlash from the youths in Tononoka because of the zoning policy. We are out of Tononoka now that we are based in Chuda, so we are still in talks with the groups in Tononoka to allow us if we can conduct business there. Thank you.
That was a short break or a breather. If it was TV, they would call it a commercial break. Let's appreciate enough time. 1, 2, 3. Awesome. So we'll be now going a little bit faster into the next session, where we want to also recognize some of the partners we've been working with in phase 1, and also the partners that we're also thinking to work with under this second phase. And will allow me to start with the WWF. So we have Alex Kubasu. I think you'll also introduce his colleague when he comes. We have been partnering with them on different projects, and we're also looking forward to partner with them within these Coast 2 projects. So karibu sana.
So hamjambo nyote. Hamjambo tena. So I am Alex Kubasu. I work for WWF Kenya, and we've been partners with SIB for quite some time. We've had a lot of interactions, and WWF Kenya is currently implementing a project here, and we're already seeing a lot of synergies. So our project is called Waste to Value, 5-year project. We began sometime last year, and it will go up to 2024. And it seeks to do more or less what the COST project is doing. And we are looking forward now. In COST 1, we were supposed to work together, but due to COVID restrictions, and our project could not take off, and so they were supposed to maybe get to train the balance from the 300. So we are looking to train up to 700. So hopefully in this second phase, we should be able to get as many young people trained and their capacity enhanced. And recently we had what we called a sector dialogue for Mombasa County in partnership with the county government of Mombasa, and also hand in hand East Africa, an NGO that is working in the space, as well as Comrade. And the discussions around that sector dialogue was more around all the players that are working within Mombasa. How can we be able to build the synergies? Because there are a lot of trainings, a lot of engagements, and the idea is we would bring all the players on the table like we did last time, and the table is getting bigger, and we were well represented by Karin during the sector dialogue. So more of just also trying to prevent double dipping and double reporting and double training and things like that. So we are looking forward to such collaborations so that we know what SIB and KEPSA are doing. They also know what WWF Kenya is doing, the people that we've already capacity enhanced, and how can we, in a way, get that capacity enhanced in a much bigger and better way, ultimately to promote the circular economy for materials, and plastics being the most problematic one and the most visible one. and the conversations are in the next couple of years, they would want to see competition for plastic in a way that it will not be found in the environment, but that will keep it in the economy. Just like we are not able to see a lot of other packaging materials in the environment. So plastic for the longest time has not been given the value that it requires, and so such engagements where we are seeking to improve the value chain and to make sure that it does not linger in the environment, but more of stays in the economy and where it's supposed to be and recycled is a vision that we have. So we are happy, and I'm sure we'll engage with you, Ebenezer, going forward, so that the areas in which we are working in, as WWF here in Mombasa, there could be, even if it is exchanges between the different trainees, and just to see how to be able to improve the skills that we've enhanced for the different groups. So thank you very much, and we look forward to greater deliberations and collaborations. Over.
Asante sana Kubasu, 1, 2, 3. Awesome. We have other two partners in the house. I'll also give them about 1 to 2 minutes. I want to welcome Cyprian, who's from TechnoServe. I think we started a conversation with them from last year in terms of partnerships and looking at areas we can get synergy. So it's good that Cyprian is here with us. So allow me to invite him. Karibu, Cyprian.
So good morning, everyone. Yeah, I happened to be in Mombasa, and when the invite came through, country director, so I said I'll be able to join in. So as has been mentioned, we have the hope of just working. We met with Amadi some time back in Nairobi, and we were just trying to figure out what kind of partnerships we can do. So we happen to have entrepreneurship-related projects. So we do work with micro and small businesses, and we have projects in Nairobi, and we also have projects in Mombasa. So we are also thinking broadly in terms of what we can do within the blue economy. So always looking forward to seeing what kind of partnerships we can forge with the different partners that are there. So happy to be here, and happy to just coordinate and collaborate. Thank you.
Asante sana Cyprian for joining us today, and I'm sure we'll continue having the discussions from where we left them. Let's appreciate Cyprian. 1, 2, 3. Now, they always say last but not least. There should have been drum rolls. Thank you, thank you. Now that you don't have drum rolls, you could have done this like the guys who do poetry, yeah, in theater. So let me welcome Gurpreet from T3. Karibu sana.
Yeah, you know, Ebenezer is talking about that. It reminds me of the first time I was giving a speech and they started clicking. I didn't know. I thought I have to speed it up. So I started going even faster than I was supposed to. I had no idea. We're happy to be here today. We're representing T3. T3 stands for Trash Thread Textile. Basically converting plastic bottles into textile. So this is the fiber, which is the building block, and this is a sample of the textile. Giving plastic waste a second life, trying to tell the youth of our country that this is not waste, this is actually value. We've been on this journey with SIB for 3 years now, trying to formalize the informal sector, working with a lot of youth groups within Nairobi and the neighboring counties, looking at opportunities on how we can work with them in Mombasa. We all know that this is where we need to be to really tackle marine plastic issues and to actually have a striving blue economy in Kenya. So we're happy to be present as partners for the launch of the collection points and work together to see how we can make Mombasa County a blue county. Thank you.
Asante. Check. Okay. Even without the mic, I think you can hear me. So thank you so much, Guprit. I think in your language it says shukriya.
My language is asante sana.
Asante sana. Very good, very good. If you were near me, I would have given you a fist bump. I think we were also having a discussion in terms of how then to move forward with the partnership that we have with what they're doing in terms of using PET bottles and converting it into textile, which is an innovation that would be great to have in the project. And then we'll be looking at how to upscale that by also engaging the youth. And that's why the project has the aspect where you're talking about alleviation of poverty through sustainable trade, where we try to provide alternative livelihoods to the youth. I think at this point we'll be moving on to the next phase of the program, and I want to welcome my colleague who is called Dr. Ehud. So every time I introduce him, it gives me an inspiration to add the initials DR to my name so that you'll also be referring to me as Dr. Amadi. So this juncture, let me welcome Dr. You know, when I was in campus, the guys used to joke. So there were guys who used to study law and they used to call themselves learned friends. And they used to call the rest of us who do BBA, I think they used to call us what? Bachelors of being around. So we used to make this joke and say, so if someone else asks you, what course are you doing? So like, oh, I'm doing a bachelor's of photocopy and binding. Anyway, still specialization, and I'm sure Dr. has specialized. Just like making fun of Dr. because he's a lively fella and quite knowledgeable in his craft. Asante sana and karibu Daktari. And you can see for sure he's not just good at books, but he also hits the gym hard.
All right. Good morning, everyone. Thank you very much, Emenez and the team, for inviting us to this very important event. Actually, when I was just sitting here and I was just reflecting on our journey and how we've related with the coastal region, it just reminded me that 10 years ago is when actually KEPSA set its footprints in Mombasa. And we were asking ourselves, how do we take KEPSA? Since then, things have changed significantly. 4 years after that, came in Karin, and Karin asked me, Ehud, I know you're very passionate about youth employment, and I am very much aware that you're also very, very passionate about business. But remember, we cannot solve the issue of youth employment if your businesses are not future-proof. So that term future-proof, sustainability, climate change, started to ring in my day-to-day conversations, thinking about how we're gonna address issues of young people, especially in jobs, incomes, if the businesses are not adapting sustainable practices that will see that their future clients being able to see and contribute to their own bottom line, people, planet, and profits. And so since then, I have become a convert of Karin's gospel, and I'd had a disciple of the sustainability agenda, and so we are very, very excited to be here. Moving forward, since then, we've been thinking about how then do we also adapt some of the most current threats, developments, to be able to be effective and efficient in how we do development. And so today, I am just here just to briefly talk about some of the things that we're doing and how the program in this coast region can continue to benefit with many other things that KEPSA is doing, but also more importantly, looking at the future of work, future of development. I was invited to talk briefly about what KEPSA is doing on youth employment and how we can all be able to adapt some of the solutions that are going to catapult and leapfrog some of the programs that you're doing. So KEPSA, as you are aware, works with private sector companies to look for not only just policy issues, but also to address pressing development issues, youth employment being one. So we have 5 programs that we're dealing with and currently implementing that are touching on youth employment. One of the areas that we have paid a lot of attention to is on entrepreneurship and green jobs. And this is why this program that has been launched today is important to us, so that even as we do the recycling, as we do the whole circular economy agenda, then we are looking at how does also that increase the capacity and potential of young people to be able to earn livelihood and income that are decent enough to be able to take care of other things that they need to take care of in a sustainable way. The other thing that we're doing is on digital economy and asking ourselves, how can we infuse digitization, digital technologies in development and be able to address and be focused in the new developments and how that would help our program become more efficient. So KEPSA is implementing a program called Ajira Digital Project, which is a Ministry of ICT, Innovation and Youth Affairs project, to try and support young people access digital and enabled jobs, but more importantly, spreading the gospel of the importance of adapting digital technologies in development. And so since last year, SIB and ourselves have been very vocal in introducing concepts of digital skills in the programs that they are doing, so that over and above the normal operations of the program, recycling, how then do you also increase the impact of the work that you're doing in the various spaces by adapting and using the different digital media channels that have capacity to break down the barriers of geographical coverage and giving us a more wider space to operate. So we are very excited to be part of this program, and we do hope that as we move along, we will look for nexus in which we can spread our wings further, not only to the program that SIB is doing, but also to all the other partners who are in this room, and be able to increase our impact to our young people in this county. So with that, I would really like to thank you very much, SIB team, plus all the partners involved, and we look forward to collaborating with you more. Thank you.
Asante sana daktari. 1, 2, 3. Awesome. At this point, I would like to invite the county government of Mombasa is also represented here through the Department of Youth and also Environment. So allow me to invite Bill Clinton, who is from the Department of Youth. I can see Guptrit is smiling that we have a Bill Clinton in Mombasa, which is a good thing. Let's appreciate him as he comes.
Well, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Most of you I know laughed or smiled when you had the name Bill Clinton, but it wasn't my fault. I was born when Bill Clinton era was now coming in, so maybe, you don't know, I'm destined for greatness. So, my name's, as said earlier, I'm Bill Clinton from the County Government of Mombasa, Youth Officer, and with me is a team of able officers. On the left, we have Edie Bakari. We also have Kezia Neema, and we also have Julia Omondi. Unfortunately, our boss is yet to arrive. He's missed his flight. So maybe if we will stay here for long, he'll be arriving at around 1 p.m. So I convey his apologies. First and foremost, I'd like to thank KEPSA through the Sustainable Inclusive Business for the first phase, especially by dignifying the lives of our communities, especially in the informal sector, Chuda Moroto. We've seen so many changes, and by the fact that you guys were able to empower them to start their own businesses in the same, that has really made a change. The Mombasa people are now feeling the need to now invest into waste collection. And I'll speak on behalf of the young people because we are the most affected lot. We are looking for these employment opportunities, and by this you're already offering them a solution. So we, as a county government, we are looking forward to partner with you guys in the second phase, now that we're targeting women. And being also the department in charge of gender, I would also like to say that we're excited because most of our people don't get these trainings. We don't get these meaningful trainings. And you coming on board, it's like you are helping us in achieving our mandate. So Fatma had talked about the Consolidated Revolving Fund. Actually, we were to launch it today with the Excellency the Governor, but he went to the Senate. We are going to launch the Consolidated Revolving Fund next week in a date to be communicated. And this time we are offering a kitty of up to 100 million. So the spaces are there for young people now to come with those ideas and seek funding from the government. And ours is interest-free loans, but it's in a way a revolving fund, in that if I get the cash, I start my business, I start repaying, Civilizer gets to get the money, then back to Ozil in that manner. So we will also welcome you, Amadi and team, for the unveiling. You are the list of stakeholders, and we are looking forward to that launch. So I think that's all. I'm not normally the person who gets to talk on the mic. I just come to do reports, but today at least I've tried, isn't it, Ozil? So thank you very much. I was tasked also to invite the honorable member for the youth representative in the county assembly, Honorable Civilizer. So without further ado, let me invite Honorable Civilizer Aran Moses to come and address.
Good morning, everyone. Bwana Yesu asifiwe. Assalamu alaikum. My name is Honorable Moses Aran Oindo, also known as a Civilizer. Civilizer is my nickname. I am the youth representative Mombasa County, mwakilishi wa vijana katika bunge la County Assembly Mombasa. I'm honored to be here. First and foremost, on behalf of the county government of Mombasa, on behalf of our able governor, His Excellency Hassan Ali Joe, the county assembly, and the entire Mombasa County, we are honored to KEPSA. You guys are just an awesome team. You came to Mombasa and you changed lives. I am a nominated MCA representing the youth, and I'm born and raised in Chuda, just like you heard from the two young guys who went through the training, and they also benefited. They got the seed money, and they're doing a great work. I can attest to that, from Naftali and Adija. The first, the cost one was a success, and is still a success, because it's a continuous project that is still going on. And I want to take this opportunity also to thank you guys, KEPSA, for choosing Chuda, working with the less privileged people. I don't have much to say. Mine is just to make sure that the second, the cost 2 project, also that will be majorly focusing on the young women and women living in Chuda to benefit from the training. Just like the first phase, we saw the importance of the CIB project and we were looking forward. You know, we politicians, we are not good in just, giving speeches, mostly if they're not political. But we need to learn, because at the end of the day, a time has come for us as leaders to embrace the changes in the community. A time has come for us to work with organizations that will benefit our people. Time for politics will come and go. But at the end of the day, what are we giving back to the community? We cannot do it alone as Mombasa County government, but through partnership with well-wishers and organizations that will come and empower our people, will really make a difference in our community. To the KEPSA team, may the soul of our beloved sister rest in peace. She's the one who initiated this. I met her through a friend, and she approached me. I remember the first day. It was in Travelers, I think Josephine, ilikuwa Travelers, ndio? Yeah, there with Josephine, and she was so passionate about, working with the young people. If I can remember, she used to tell me, Civilizer, I want us to work. And this program, I want it to be a long term. To the KEPSA family, make her dream come true. I've worked closely. We've created a very good bond with the Beneza, Josephine, and Prak. And I do believe that on behalf of the Mombasa people, we welcome you, and we want to see this kind of project being executed in our county. I know we'll have a success. The coast 2 will be a success. God willing, the coast 3 will come, coast 4, coast 5, coast 6. I don't know if till coast 1,000. And these will definitely, go well with our people. And my dream also is not to just to concentrate in Chuda. After Chuda, Ebenezer, I think now we need to spread our wings to other areas so that other people can also benefit from the project. Just like, I don't know if Bill is the one, if I can quote him, if I can echo his sentiments that he made earlier, that we've had training, several trainings. But at the end of the day, the trainings that we're having, they don't have end product. Youths are being trained, women are being trained, but at the end of the day, what next? But with KEPSA, we've seen from inception, there's a well-designed project that has part 1, part 2, part 3. So it's upon our people to make use of the project. And whether I will be in the office, because I'm also graduating, as much as I'm still below 35, I won't be the next youth representative of Mombasa County. I have the opportunity of, my position is a nominated one. I have the capability to negotiate to be nominated, but I won't do that. I also want to give that opportunity to the young generation so that they can also be in this position and initiate projects. I will be vying for an elective post, but as long as I will be in office, as long as I will still be here alive, I will make sure that we partner. I will make sure that I do whatever it takes so that KEPSA and the Office of the Youth Representative, we don't know, maybe it will be an office of the elected MCA, elected MP, elected senator, or even a cabinet secretary. I don't know where God will land me, but I will make sure that we partner so that we make sure that the reality and the dream of our people is achieved. Thank you so much, and we're looking forward to partner more. Our chief officer was supposed to be here, just like we've heard from Bill Clinton, but he missed his flight. So if we delay a little bit, he will be here. If not, when the project, next week, when the trainees will be joining, we'll make sure that he comes along and also say hi to the trainees. Also, the Department of Environment, Amar was supposed to be here. I don't know if Ashafika Bado. Oh, the department, somebody's here to represent the department. I think they will speak on behalf of the department. So generally, on behalf of Mombasa County, we are ready to work with you guys. And revolving fund, as a youth representative, let me assure you, Naftali and Adija, I will do whatever it takes to make sure that our groups that applied for the revolving fund wame benefit, msiogope. We know how county government do work. Sometimes, I don't want to defend my county, I don't want to defend my government, but sometimes we do get late disbursement of funds from the National Treasury. So, ni kitu zingine hatuwezi zuia. But the moment pesa imeingia, we'll make sure the groups that applied from the KEPSA zote zitapata pesa, so that you make sure the project that you initiated imekuwa carried out successfully. Thank you. May God bless you. Asanteni sana.
One, two, three. Now you have seen the real Bazoo. So we want to appreciate Civilized. I think when we were starting the Coast project, he was very eager to support us to get inroads into Tudor and just to understand the youth and also get the youth because, you know, there are different phases in implementation of a project where you first of all draft a proposal, and then when the project starts, you come to the ground, and then you also do a baseline study and look at some of the approaches that you propose. Will they be working, or do you want to change them a little bit to fit the current situation, because things change with time. So we want to appreciate Civilized, and also want to appreciate Bill Clinton. Indeed, you're destined for greatness. Hopefully. Okay. We shall talk that when we are having lunch. But yes, indeed, he's also been supporting us through the Department of Youth. And I know for sure he's also been eager to see other youths joining and also benefit from the revolving fund. So we're also happy to continue. In the first phase, we had the CEO from the revolving fund also join in during the training, as also as a panelist when we were evaluating the proposals that were being developed by the youth. At this point, I want to welcome also a representative from the Department of Environment, and we have Abdul here with us. Karibu sana, Abdul. 1, 2, 3.
Good morning. My name is Abdusalam Omar. I'm here to represent the CEC of Environment, Dr. Nato. We were to come with Amar together, but Amar is held up with because he's in charge of matters of fleet management for West. So I have come late due to some emergency that I got. So sorry for that. So basically, when I talk about the Department of Environment, our key mandate, it is the collection, transportation, it is the collection, transportation, and the disposal of waste to our major landfill or dump site. So we in Mombasa, we have two. So in Mombasa, we have two major dump sites. There's one serving people for Likoni, it is called Shonda. And then we have another one at Kisauni sub-county, which is called Makirungi. It's the biggest dump site that we have. So basically, that is just our mandate as county government. So the journey for transforming Mombasa, it was a challenge. One of the achievements that we achieved is the decommissioning of the Kibarani. It used to be a very bad place whenever people are coming to Mombasa, you hear a smell, a bad smell from Kibarani. So the journey came by transforming the decommissioning of Kibarani. Now Kibarani is a recreational park. So, and then now as county government, we end up increasing our fleets. So from 12, we add another 10. So we're having, currently we're having 20 in number for fleets, fleets for collection of waste. And then 2019, we happened to do the survey regarding the number, the quantity of waste that we produce a day. So we end up that realizing that Mombasa has a potential to produce 879 tons a day, whereby 53% we manage to collect, 15% end up recycling, and another percentage that just end up in our environment. So basically, it was an opportunity at the same time, it was a challenge to us as county government projection. So now, as I'm speaking now, due to the increment of the number of fleets that we have increased, now the percentage has shifted from 53%, now we are 60% in terms of collection. So basically, one of the current achievements as county government we have achieved, one of them, we have established material recovery facility at our county yard. The potential material recovery facility will be buying plastic from the youth or the groups, so by standard price, because we have realized that these youth, when they are selling their products to the private entity, they end up being undermined in terms of there is a lot of monopoly and undermining in terms of price. So as county government, we are projecting that we are going to buy plastic, is it plastic, bottle plastic from the youth, or for whoever individually, youth group, who is dealing with issues of plastic. So that is one of the achievements as county government, Department of Environment, we have achieved in terms of recovering plastic. Another achievement as county government is we have established, briquette machinery. It is also situated in our county yard. So the briquette machinery, it is aiming at transforming the coconut husk to briquettes. So now the briquette machinery will be a demonstration site for whoever, either a student or groups who wish to learn how to the process of turning waste to energy in terms of having a clean charcoals, which we refer as briquette. So very soon we are going, because all the projects are in completion, it's just about to launching them and installing them to start and functioning. So these are some of the mileage that as the department we have achieved in terms of transforming our waste management system. So with these few remarks, thank you very much for this opportunity. Thank you.
When you look at Mombasa, we have a population of around 1.2. Out of this population from the previous census, 42% are aged between 15 and 34. That's around 505,000 youth. And during that time, the unemployment rate for that group was 44%. So you can imagine right now, maybe the figures have gone very high.
We are having an increased rate of waste generation in Mombasa. And so as much as we have an employment problem, the fact that the waste is increasing is an opportunity for the young people to invest in.
We just launched the project, which we're referring to as the COAST project. In full, it's creating opportunities and alleviating poverty through sustainable trade. Our focus is here at Tuda, which is an informal settlement. It's a low-income area, and our main focus is on women and youth, trying to help them to be able to get alternative sources of livelihood.
Kitu ambayo ndio inatatiza zaidi ni hii mambo ya uchafu imekuwa nyingi. Inakuwa ni shida kwa vijana, mara ugonjwa nini, bahari pia inakuwa chafu. Kwa hivyo tunge hii miradi mkituletea zaidi itakuwa ni uzuri, sababu ya hao vijana pia waweze kupata makazi na zidi kuelimika.
Kama tunaweza pata zile ndoo, kwa kila plot tunaweka ndoo kama 2 hivi, alafu kama ni kila tunapanga siku ya kuzunguka sisi mayouth tukichukua hizo ndoo, kama gari itakuwa iko hapo juu, tuna collect then tunaenda tunaweka kwa hiyo gari.
The young person who has collected the waste kinds of gets a raw deal, because you are carrying waste that has value, but you have not benefited from the value of the waste you are carrying. You are only being paid to carry. So I think one of the capacity needs that probably we need to focus on is telling them that the materials you are carrying have value, and you can make more money by sorting at the point of collection before you transport this waste.
It's more also on behavioral change, trying to separate waste at source, and also trying to help women and youth to be creative so that they can come up with businesses which are within the waste management value chain.
Kila tukijachukua takataka hata kama ni hiyo kila mlango 2020 itakuwa pia Simba tupatie ile pesa ya matumizi, kwa sababu sasa hakuna kazi kwa sababu ya corona.
Sasa nini shida nyingi tunapata hapa kwa sababu tuko na watoto wadogo, kulingana na magonjwa, kuhara, uchafu kwa wingi.
That is the important position that women hold in the waste management value chain.
We are confident that within the next 6 months, the project will create a tremendous impact on the lives of women and youth in Mombasa's Chuda informal settlement, and that gives us a reason to put a smile on our faces, even in the midst of a pandemic.
Waste collection is a very, very expensive exercise, and the county government alone cannot manage that process. So we thought it wise to work with the private entities, particularly the young people, so that they can help us boost this efficiency.
I'd like to urge my fellow youths either to come and join this and to embrace this noble cause.
I think this project that they're going to have deserves full support from the county and all the stakeholders involved.
At KEPSA, the cost project will complement our efforts to increase our private sector contribution to sustainable development, particularly the Sustainable Goals 11 to 14, which are on sustainable cities and communities, responsible consumption and production, climate action, and life below water.
As a county government of Mombasa, we are looking forward in partnering with you guys, working hand in hand, so that we make this project a success.
We want to appreciate Abdul for representing the Department of Environment, and our regards to Dr. Neto, who was not able to be here with us because he's in Nairobi. He has been also of great support, so our regards when you go back to the office. At this point, I want to welcome our Deputy CEO. I know for a fact you just know her as Martha Cheruto, but I normally, anyway, it was just on a lighter note. Engineer Martha Cheruto is here with us to represent KEPSA and also launch the project for us. We are happy that she took her time from a busy schedule to join us and come down to Mombasa as we begin the project. Karibuni sana. 1, 2, 3.
Wow. Hamjambo. Sisikii sauti. Hamjambo. Asante. Ni vizuri sana kuwaona leo asubuhi. Na pia nafurahia sana kwa vile sote tu wazima tumeungana pamoja na watu wa county, partners wetu, colleagues from Nairobi and also in Mombasa. As you've heard, my name is Martha Cheruto. I am here to represent our CEO and receive her greetings and regards and commitment to working with all of you and telling you that KEPSA, as the voice of the private sector, we're going to work together
support the youth, the women, and the businesses to convert waste into value. And so when we speak about cost, when we are creating and trying to alleviate poverty through sustainable trade, then all of us have smiles on our faces because we are touching the future generations. So truly, we are honored, delighted to be with you, and to really appreciate that we made time to come today and discuss what we need to do and tell you that in this we are together. For those online, we also say thank you very much. COVID came in and made us appreciate the need of having virtual as well as physical. So we have hybrid events, and this is the second one. I was here last year when we launched the first phase, and I must say I'm happy when I listen to the success stories. And thank you so much for being part of this, because it was also a deliberate decision from your end to be part of us. So it's really nice that you're part of us, to listen to that success, and then getting commitments from our partners. It was just amazing. You hear WWF telling you they're going to support us and they're planning on 700. You hear T3 saying they're going to also continue with this project together with us. When you listen into the county, and I'm very happy that Mheshimiwa is here. Remember anaitwa Bazu, Bazu mwenyewe amesema atafanya kazi nasi pamoja na county government, na he will ensure that you benefit from the revolving fund. That I think is just perfect to all of us. And then let's look at the whole ecosystem. Daktari Ehud has said that we're getting into the cloud. There's no boundary anywhere. There are no limitations. So once you do your business, then the question is, how do you approach and how do you get business outside the country? And you get it through Ajira platforms, and he's here, and he'll be here to explain all that to the youth that are available. So truly you can see the whole ecosystem working for us. So because we do have people online, and before I continue with my remarks, I'll read a speech on behalf of the CEO, and just to explain and give you the background and what we do expect from this discussions today. So I'll say all protocols observed, because we were expecting the French team to be here, and they've not been here with us, but we are happy we have representatives from the Mombasa County, our partners, as well as distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning. I am delighted to be here today on this occasion to formalize and deepen the partnership between the County of Mombasa, the French Embassy, KEPSA, and all our partners in launching the second phase of the Creating Opportunities and Alleviating Poverty through Sustainable Trade project. This support demonstrates the belief that we have in our stakeholders in terms of making sure that they are part of the sustainable, inclusive business. As listening in, and I'm happy we had in from the testimonies, it is indeed that this project has created the desired impact, and we know it will create more through this. Within the organization in the 2021 year, we are focusing on 5 pillars. The 5 pillars are there to guide our recovery strategy, because we are all facing the impact of COVID-19. So the first pillar that I'll talk about is public-private dialogue. And when you see our engagement with the county government, it really confirms that we want to see what policies, what legislations do we need within the county to support this project. So we are looking at sustainable waste management and asking ourselves, the existing policies and legislation, are they functioning? What do we need to do better to ensure we get better results? So that's through the public-private dialogue, and we will continue working with you and engaging you. Because as you know, KEPSA brings together trade associations, business associations, corporates, SMEs, startups, and also multinationals to discuss those challenges. Then we present a position paper to county government in this case and tell you these are the proposals that we feel when we implement, this is the impact that you'll get. And so through this program, we already have some proposals and thinking through, and because you're part of us, we'll continue sharing with you. The other one is on sustainability pillar, and from the name, sustainable inclusive business, and looking at waste management, when you talk about circular economy, is all about sustainability. We are keen on SDGs, and one of the things that you can pick from there, from every discussion, it's about partnership. And remember that pillar, the last pillar on SDG, is purely about collaborations and partnerships. So sustainability is all about this project. So we are happy that this will enable us achieve Vision 2030 and all the agreements we have signed within this country, matters climate change, matters green economy and strategy and implementation plan. We have the Climate Change Act. And right now we are talking about the EPR regulations. So there's so much. We're talking about new plastics, the plastic pact that is there. So you can see that all this is aligned towards that. The third thing that we're talking about is the business hub. When I heard one testimony talking about business and how they felt that it was necessary for them to be trained and participate and increase their scope, then indeed we feel that this project is enabling us achieve the ambitions or the vision of the business hub, because we're looking at SME development. And so our desire is to see you grow, do the proposals, gain the revolving fund, and maybe 2 years, 3 years down the line, 5 years down the line, we'll be saying company A started as an individual, and this is where they are after the support they've received from all the partners, from KEPSA, from the county government. They've also been placed on the e-commerce platforms, and now this is their success story after 5 years. So it brings us joy to listen in and just participate in all this. The other thing that we thought we also wanted us to all appreciate is the social pillar. Social pillar, we're looking at youth, we're looking at women, and the lead is here with us today. Dr. Ehud leads that pillar. So when we look at that pillar, we talk about the youth. And clearly in the room, majority are the youth. I was happy listening that Mheshimiwa himself is a youth. When he spoke, Bill spoke, you'd hear he's a youth. When he spoke, that's Abdallah, right? Who's a youth. So it can tell you that is the principle that you're working on, that this is a youth-led discussion all the way. So we are happy that indeed, even the people who are owning the businesses, the two testimonies are the youth. There are 102 are youth. So clearly, our success story comes in when we speak about the COAST project, and it still ties up to the sustainability pillar. And yes, Amadi, who leads that pillar, is here with you and has been with you all the way since last year with his team. The fifth one is about governance. Remember, nothing progresses without leadership, without good corporate governance, and our work with the county representation really gives us and tells us that we are in this together. All this, we need structures, we need transparency, accountability, and everything that we do is put on the table. So when we see the director, Karin, here with us, because she leads also the discussion on SIB, she's the project director, it tells us that everyone who's involved has been put on the table. This is what we are planning, this is what is coming in, and this is how we're going to do it, this is how we're going to distribute, and this is what the county government, so everyone has their own roles and responsibilities, and this is how we're going to monitor in terms of implementation. And then who are we not to say that this COAST project also fits into that and just progresses it? And when you listen, I remember on the same, we were here some time back, I think 2 months ago, we're donating PPEs for the county government. And that was the time I engaged, we had an engagement with His Excellency, the county governor, His Excellency Joho. And one of the things that came out when we were having a session with him is that he really wants to work closely with the private sector, because we are not silos. We are all within the county. So there is a role the county will play, there's a role private sector will play, there's a role the community will play, and even the civil society. And he was happy that he really wants to work with us. So when we look at that, and we have our lead of governance here with us, that's Anne Katule, it tells you that principle of governance is also included in the cost project. And we are happy that we are launching the second phase today. So, there has been a conversation on circular economy from everyone. What are we saying? We're really saying that as KEPSA, we're the forefront. We're going to lead the private sector and joining everybody else. And we even have with us, there's Faith Ngige. Faith leads circular economy discussions also at the policy level. We have an environment sector board within KEPSA. And when I spoke about the public-private dialogue, where we said we'll be engaging the county government, that is the role that she leads, all the regulations, the policies that we need, we want to see, we are there together. So you'll be seeing the discussion being taken in. So when I come back to how KEPSA will continue working with you, I would request all of us to go to our website, check out there's a document called the National Business Agenda. It's the green, actually. It's the Green National Business Agenda. All of our projects and what we are doing to support the country's economic growth are outlined there. And all the 5 pillars that we've talked about fits into the National Business Agenda. So you're all welcome to see on the website the opportunities that we have beyond this that we're presenting to you today, and look at it. We have SME programs with us. There's training, there's mentorship. And one thing that we can do today is that we'll share with you a link for tomorrow. As you grow your business, there's a mentorship session that we offer on Fridays. Mostly it's about 2 hours of your time, but we present seasoned industry captains to tell you their journey, what you need to do, what you can do better, and become a better business person and grow your business locally, regionally, globally. And take advantage of the opportunities within the Africa Free Trade Continental Area that we have, the AFCFTA that is there. So continent discussion is what we all need to pick up from here. So it would be nice to see anyone who is involved in this project asking ourselves, how do we expand our scope beyond Kenya, get into the EAC market, and get into the continental market as a business from here. And those are the stories we'd really wish to see. And again, it would also be a success story for the county governments to be saying that these people are just not within Mombasa, but they've expanded to other counties, because we're targeting other counties. So please come on board, check the websites, go through the social media pages, follow, because there are opportunities, every opportunity that a youth, women, men can benefit. Even individuals, the Ajira project, if you're a youth, you have people in school, at home, those are the projects that you can always look at. And then, as I almost finish, is that there are lessons we learned from phase 1, and we use the lessons from phase 1 to improve phase 2. We take cognizance of Kaizen principle, of continuous improvement, and we believe that phase 2 will come out better than phase 1. So we are happy as KEPSA to continue telling you that this is not the end. There are more coming. You asked us to say cost 1,000, eh? So we'll see how many we'll be able to do, and even expand it to very many counties, because we are both at the national level and at the county level as KEPSA. So we try to work with all the counties, because our businesses cut across the counties. So to end this, we tell you that the timing is right. And when it is the time, then only thing you expect is success. We are on the right track to achieving our sustainable agenda, that is the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development. and also the ambition of moving towards circular economy. We still give out our appreciation and sincere gratitude to our partners, and confirming and committing, recommitting and reaffirming our support as KEPSA to all of you to move this economy to the next level in a sustainable manner for this generation and future generations. And truly to say, asante sana. And in the words of Professor Wangari Maathai, she said, it is in the little things that we do that makes the difference. This, to us, the little thing that we do to the people of Chuda today will indeed make a difference in their lives, and as we expand the project, will make a difference in the entire country. Na kwa hayo, nasema asanteni sana, Mungu awabariki, na tuzidi kuwa pamoja, tujenge uchumi wa Kenya, sisi kama wanabiashara. Community is one of us. Sote kuna mahali tumetoka. Na sote tukirudi nyumbani kufanya kazi ambayo itaweza kujenga tulikotoka, basi tutajua uchumi wa nchi utaendelea mbele. Lakini sote tukifunga macho na kusema hakuna kitu nitafanya, ama tuangalie upande mwingine na tuseme hiyo ni kazi ya county, hiyo ni kazi ya KEPSA, hiyo ni kazi ya nani, basi tutakuwa tumejiweka chini. Lakini tukiungana mikono kama wananchi ama ni wenye nchi, sote tutafurahi baadaye tukisema nilifanya kazi yangu kama mimi nilivyoleta duniani, ama vile ambavyo nilikuwa nahitaji kufanya, nilifanya majukumu yangu, si ndio? So jukumu lako ni lipi kama wewe mwenyewe? Sitasema jina, lakini nikienda kuketi chini lazima nijiulize, jukumu langu kama Martha ni gani kuikuza nchi ya Kenya? Na kwa hayo, asante na Mungu awabariki. Shukran. So at this point, I was seeing those and I remembered, by the way, we were doing something. So before we do that, let's do this as I invite Mheshimiwa Karibu. Mheshimiwa, the county government representative, Bill Tafadhali Karibu, Abdallah Karibu. He's here. Alafu, as he comes, nyote karibuni. Pia kuna mgeni Mheshimiwa You've joined us, so we'll also be inviting him. But please, before he comes, I want us to invite him differently. Anyone who spoke and you're a partner, please come to the front because we want to launch this and then also invite Mheshimiwa MCA here. So if you spoke, please just come here and we give the moment. If you spoke, just spread out. Take that photo. So why I'm calling you here today is because we're going to launch it. But because we have the area MCA, it would be an honor for him to lead us into the launch. He'll say something and declare it officially launched. Sindio? ama namna gani? So Mheshimiwa Samba, karibu sana.
Yes, thank you so much. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Yes, my name's Tobias Samba. I'm the MCF for the for Chuda Ward, and actually I'm happy to be here. This is my first time we are going to engage together, and the first phase did very well. And apart from the issues, the hitches that were there, but we are actually happy because most of our youths have benefited, and the only mistake, or maybe I cannot call it a mistake, I was never invited officially, and since it is happening in my ward, I don't think it was appropriate to do it without my knowledge. Even if just informing me, it would have been appropriate. So I was just around here, and then I was passing by, and I saw something like this. But we are glad as Chuda people, and it has been supported and spearheaded by my colleague Mheshimiwa Aran. Apart from the issues that have been there, we are so happy. I would also like to urge, when it comes to recruitment, also I have seen we are expecting to train 100 youths, and 100 last time, this time 100, it is not enough, but we have to appreciate. So I won't say much because I came late, but it is an honor even you giving me an opportunity even to say something. Otherwise, we are so much grateful. We are looking forward to work with you, work with my office, engage my office. I also happen to be the chair for youth, gender, and cultural and sports affairs. I chair the same committee at the assembly. So I think I'm also the best person, one of the best people to engage when it comes to matters to do with youth. Otherwise, asanteni sana. Mungu wabariki.
So thank you. We really acknowledge the inclusivity of the work that we're doing together, and acknowledge the two Weshimiwas with us and giving us your time, and even from the county government and the private sector in this. So we will say, I think what we'll do, how do we want to launch it? There is some music in the background, right? Where's the team? We have that. When you tuko tafadhali, we have to be happy, eh? Sisi tunapenda tuko Mombasa raha, you know. Si ndio? Sasa sijui tutafanya, lakini pia tafadhali tuvae mask. Is there music? So we do. So how do you go? Oh, okay. I don't know. But anyway, I think we do it. As we sit, we'll do the normal hip hip hooray, sawa, mara tatu, and then we'll sit and I hand over back the program to my colleague. Sawa sawa? Hip hip hooray. Hip hip hooray. Hip hip hooray. Thank you. You may have your seat. Thank you.
Okay, thanks. We want to appreciate Deputy CEO for leading us through that session of launching the project officially. And we want to welcome Honorable Samba. Karibu sana. I think we'll have a conversation after this. I'm welcoming my bazoo.
Buona. Okay.
To take us also through a session of Q&A. I mean, if you, through our partners here, because we're also looking at what the project is aiming to do in the end. So we'll also be happy to engage you through this session, on a Q&A session, and then we'll proceed to the next steps. So anyone who has a question to ask, I think if you have a roaming mic or you'll use one of these, you'll just raise your hand up and one of my colleagues will reach to you. You'll be given the opportunity to ask the questions and we'll be here to address it.
Yeah. Maybe I have, the first question is actually maybe coming from you. Sorry to, because I think you came a little later, but maybe it's also nice not only to have questions and answers, but also touch upon how we like to work together and also what the expectations are. And actually our partner from WWF, Alex, also announced that they are running a project with a bigger volume of people, which we like to bring together. So your need for more than 100 might already be a possibility. So I think that's also great. While we're here all together, we can already figure out what, how, and what are actually urgent questions before we start with the project we just kicked off. So open for any questions. No questions. No questions at all. Yes.
Yes. Yes, I think I'm audible now. No, it is not one. Yeah. I just have a concept that throughout the course, after the training, what are the measures that you have in place to make sure that the trainees realize their main objective as to why they've been trained? Because maybe it is being treated just as a norm. After training, they just disappear, no follow-up. Is there any mechanism that we have in place that allows you to do follow-up and to make sure that the objective of the real project is attained?
Yeah, I think that's a very good question, because it's a lot of times that you have a project from A to Z, and then when Z is there, it was the end of a story. While especially this project, and not this project, but this problem and the possible opportunities to solve it, actually, they are not coming to an end. So there are a few things in place, I think. First and foremost is that we would like to see specific behavioral change. So we also set targets. So we want to have people looking at it in a different way and not only at waste. That's one thing. The other thing is what we want to create are opportunities. So an opportunity and a business opportunity should never be coming to an end, because then it was not so successful. And in that we also look at synergies between the private sector. For instance, in the last Coast One, we had also mentorship programs, and also looking at where can you actually come in with business questions, or you have a solution that fits another business initiative. So we're looking not only at linkages to coach you, but also linkages that match your business opportunity. Receptacles, yeah. And the targets we have around that, as well as maybe a flashback on what we've seen in Coast One and how we want to deal with that in Coast Two.
Just to add on to what Karine mentioned in terms of looking at sustainability, that's the reason why we invited partners of the private sector. For example, we have T3, and again we also have Close the Gap and other partners. What T3 does is that they collect PET bottles. I think now for these hotels are turning from PET bottles to glass, but you can use PET to create a textile. Now what you're envisioning is that by creating awareness on the concept of separation of waste at source, we are thinking also to have receptacles. So basically just a place where people can, after they separate the waste, we can do two. We'll do two that's wet and dry, right? So by dry I mean the things that you can recycle: paper, glass, plastic, and such like metal. So that will be on one side, and then we can have the wet, that's organic, on one side. So that at that stage, it's easy to get a hold of the recyclable products. For example, if it's PET, then the youth can collect it and be able to sell it to T3, and T3 can use it to develop textile. So in a sense, someone will be engaging in an activity that can give them some level of livelihood, so to speak. And if you get other partners that have different ideas of recycling some of the products, I think the EPR regulations, Faith can tell you, are moving away from calling it waste to products. Material, yes. She's our colleagues, and she has the environment sector board. She's been very, I mean, on the lead in terms of drafting the EPR regulations 2021. So borrowing synergy from both sides, and that's the angle that we're looking at to engage the youth. Beyond the 100, of course, we'll train 100. As she mentioned, that's why I bring in other partners like WWF, TechnoSouth, just partners that think the same way. You can find synergy with the projects that we have. For example, Alex mentioned that they aim at training 700. So that's part of the synergy that we're looking at, to create a network to support the people in the area to be able to grow. So that's, I don't know if we have answered your question. I see your hand going up, Faith, or not? You wanted to say something?
I think as the discussion is unfolding, what this director has to say, but we could borrow the Nyayo Estates partnership and put it back to Sylvia.
There's a mic there besides you.
So the Nyayo Estate model is such that you work within that small scope of the estate, and then encourage the residents to segregate waste at the household level, which I believe this is what this project is about to do. And then with partnership with T3, the Nyayo Estate has managed to incentivize the residents with some amount of money, which then they're able to use for the estate environmental initiatives. So if we could scope that and create a model around Mombasa County on how residents can actually segregate and create value both for them and also for the recyclers, then that can then be scaled up into the future. So we have both training, but at the same time the actual doing. And one of the things that was very important in that model was provision of those receptacles, so that they are, you know, if you train them and don't give them receptacles, then you kind of have left the chain. But if you give them the receptacles, those 100 households or 500 households, and then that cycle continues like that, then it's possible to then demonstrate that if you segregate waste at household, this is where it goes, this is what it does, and eventually this is the results, and the chain pays for itself, sustains itself, so that even when we finish, it doesn't mean that the initiative ends with this 6 or 3 months. I can for sure say Nyayo Estate continues today even without me talking about it, because they have embraced the whole thing and it is actually working for them. Yeah. Thank you.
Thanks, Faith. So what Faith is saying is there's a project that she was also heading in Nyayo Estate. I will call it the Nyayo model, but someone might misunderstand it to the Nyayo era. But it's basically the same thing, where we'll be upscaling some of the lessons that we have learned from some of the projects implemented by KEPSA, to be able to have a process that ensures sustainability and also resource to some extent. You had another question? I also saw, Abdul, you had a hand up. We'll be coming to you.
Now, thank you for the response. And I had the opinion, and a reserved one, that by doing a follow-up, I meant that at least the first 100 trainees that had been trained, at least for once or twice or once a year, you meet them and then you hear their story, how far they have gone, because I think there is a major objective as to why they are being trained. As my friend has just said, that when they are just left after training, I think the circles remain incomplete. So when we do follow-ups and then we hear their story, the challenges they are facing, because even when it comes to business, when you are a first-timer, when you are operating a business for the first time, I think there are some of the challenges that you may encounter that may lead to the fall of the business. So my idea was, or my suggestion was, the same way you have come up with the second phase program, at least you should fix somewhere there you have follow-up programs. Number two, concern number two, or rather observation number two, or rather suggestion number two, I think the same way you should also look for the markets where they're doing, when they have decided to do the business, maybe as you've said, recycling and whatever, you should at least find for them a market. Because you see, in business, what matters a lot is a market. If you have the clients, you can be able to sustain the business. So in order for our youths to see the importance of this training, let us also try to look market for their products that they might maybe attain from the training. That is my view. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I think, and also behind, so we don't have to answer this question. Yeah, it's very good.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. I want to respond to something, the query raised by Honorable Samba, the area MCA for Chuda, in regards to the follow-up. I want to inform the area MCA that the follow-up has been done well. Through my office as a youth representative, I represent the youth of Mombasa County. So I have a team, and actually, you guys heard what the testimonies, what Naftali and Hadija said. The 102 youth who were trained in the Coast 1, we've developed a program whereby we visit them and we mentor them and try to see what are the challenges that they're experiencing. They also have a WhatsApp group, both of them. All the groups, they were divided into groups, and both Ebenezer in those groups, or it's Prak. Prak is in that group, Prak, I think, and Josephine. Both of them are in that group whereby if there's an issue, a concern that has been raised, we normally discuss about it and how to go about it. So I want to inform him that the follow-up has been done well, and that's why we've had the success stories. Maybe just like he said that he was not informed, I'll take it as a responsibility, youth representative, to inform him the progress that we've made in the course project 1. Thank you, and welcome on board, Honorable Samba.
Thank you so much, Honorable Samba and Honorable Civilizer. I think we also had a hand on this side, Abdul. The suggestions have been taken in terms of some of the proposals that you just mentioned.
Yeah, my concern is on, because I've heard the project is connected to the blue economy. And recovering waste, there some end up in our ocean, for example, in a form of micro, that we cannot visibly see it. So how is this project connected in terms of also scaling down to what even cannot be seen by someone, and also cause impacts to another source of livelihood for fishermen, for example? So is there avenue, for example, for considering the ocean itself in terms of maybe awareness or cleaning programs, regularly routine cleanups to make sure that our ocean are so clean? So that is just my concern, also question. Is there a connection also considering the blue economy itself, apart from the physical training?
Yeah, thank you so much, Abdul, for the question. I will give you an analogy of the water sector, where we have when you have leakages, is normally in two parts, which are called the visible leaks and non-visible leaks. The non-visible leaks basically means it's under the ground, because the pipeline it's not like electricity where you see a cable hanging or something. So that's the phase where we're beginning. So you're beginning with what we can see. That's the plastic bottles and other plastic material, and trying to collect them. That's why we have the receptacles. And then move into bringing the private sector to be able to collect them, where Honorable Samba was saying, connecting the dots between the product and the market, right? That's why in this phase we are bringing in the private sector to connect the dots. So because we have the products where they're collecting it, so but where's the market? Sometimes they do not know where to find the market. So that's the connection we are trying also to bring in with the second phase, and that's what is a bit advanced with the second phase, because again, you also notice when you train people, they will have the knowledge, but sometimes they lack the capability to either find markets for the product. Yeah. So this moment, I wouldn't say that we are really critically looking at the micro, but it is connected to the blue economy in terms of we are avoiding, if you look at where Tudor is, it's kind of slopey, right? That means if there are floods and the plastics are over, means it will be taken easily to the Indian Ocean, right? But if you're able to collect it and recover that material and make something different from it, or reuse those products, means we're also reducing the amount of plastics that are going to the ocean. Our aim here is to have a multiplier effect. So what we're doing in Tudor, other places can also do the same, right? So that's how we are aiming at having the project have impact to surrounding areas. I think this discussion we also had at some point with the Department of, which is your department, Department of Environment. So looking at, because at that time in 2020, I think you had a plan to have the transfer stations where you said, and you were also looking at eliminating the illegal dump sites. At that point, if I remember the discussions we were having with your office, with the Dr. Nato. So it's within that context that it is connected to the blue economy. Yes, I see a hand there, Alex.
Yeah, I just wanted to contribute towards the market and probably the possible areas of synergies. So under the project that we are currently implementing, we kind of mapped out the various players in the value chain of waste, and particularly plastic waste. And so the response to the Honorable Member of Tudor is that part of what we would possibly do together is the fact that we know, for example, the recyclers. And one of the biggest problems that we noticed, you would walk in the streets of Mombasa and you would see a lot of PET bottles, for example. And you know that there is a recycler for PET or for hard plastics. But the big question is, why is it that there is a lot of plastic in the environment, but there is also a buyer who is interested in that material? And they keep on saying that they do not have enough feedstock to be able to run their plants. So in a way, it's because the value chain is broken, and we would want to connect these people that you're training in the various groups and organizations to be linked directly to the recyclers, because most of the time there would be people who would come and intervene and buy at a very low price, and that in itself is kills the morale for people to keep on collecting and doing that good job. So if we are able to link them directly and they get fair price for the fair work that they have been able to do, then we are realizing slowly that a lot of that plastic that is in the environment, which has value, would actually end up within the flows of the industries of the recyclers, and in a way clean up our environment and also create jobs. So I think that is an area that we can always explore, and we already have those commercial partners within the project that really would want that material. Just the connection is the problem, and we can fix that. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Alex. I think this is the beauty of having conversations beyond launching a project, because assume that Engineer Martha had launched the project. We celebrate and hip hip. Why are you letting me down? Hip hip. And we went and had our meal. And Daktari will be there telling me to take more vegetables than beef. Then that would have been a lost opportunity of having such discussions, even with Honorable Samba, Alex, Honorable Civilizer, and great discussions coming in as we proceed. So that is an opportunity to partner in that area, and I want to appreciate our partners here, T3, WWF, TechnoServe, and others who are also sitting in the room, including the county government of Mombasa. And you also notice that within KEPSA, we also have other projects, right, where we are also collaborating. Doctor here leads a project called Ajira. So by its name, you definitely know it's trying to bring employment. But the project is dealing basically on going paperless. So using technology to work, right? And that's another component that we're also seeing linkage with the current initiative that you're doing under the same organization. Because in any item, for example, if it's a laptop, it's a phone, or a computer, a desktop, it has some components of plastic in it, right? And if you're to recover some material from it, then you can do something different. Or rather, you can refurbish the computer. We have another partner called Close the Gap. They have an office at Sharpner Square, but they also have a facility at, do you still call it industrial area? Yeah, where you have some go downs. I think I went there, but I don't know the name that they told me the place is called, but it's, I will equate it to the industrial area of Mombasa, where they have a facility that they use to refurbish the computers there. And even in these discussions, we are continuing to get new partnerships amongst the different partners that we have, not just having a partnership with us, but we find that the different partners that we have are still collaborating in some sort of way. Was there another hand that you saw at the back? Oh, there is a hand.
Yes. No, it's not really, just to add on to what my colleague said and continue giving more information. And indeed, this is very nice because after the launch, now we go into the operations. And the success of this project, when we'll be coming back to say this is what we did in Chuda, we'll all be saying we were part and parcel of all of this. So maybe just to add is, I need to introduce the people who will be on the ground. Watu wa ground mko wapi? Josephine, tafadhali, onekana. Praxidis, we have Dennis. So the concerns which have been raised, and I'm happy that they're coming in. So even during the training, the three of them, please monitor them. They'll be here and they'll be sharing the information. And even our partners, we call on you to even have a session, because I know you're within the program. So those programs that once we deal with the people we are training, that information will be provided. And I think we can even open to waheshimiwa mko, kwa sababu hao ni watu wetu. So when you're available, the training is happening this week at Allianz, right? It will be at Allianz Francais, because we are working with the French embassy. Mkipata muda, karibu. Sit in, help us with even information, listening. We can always panel beat as we move forward, then we always will call it a success. There's even within us, and beyond sustainability of this project, we have a colleague who's joined us, and I want him to be seen. Patrick, pia kuja onekane. Yes. He's called Patrick Maingi.
Moko sawa.
Oh, so that you see him, eh?
Oh,
yes.
Good morning. Oh, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
As you heard, my name is Patrick Maingi.
Yes. So, so what you were saying, if you remember the discussion about public-private dialogue, that we continue engaging the counties, the National Assembly. He leads that docket. So now that we're discussing about environment, and Faith is here, but now beyond environment, there are others. There's transport and logistics, there's the Northern Corridor, all those things. So what we're just telling you as KEPSA today is the private sector is here, and they are ready to walk this journey with everybody to ensure that we change the country to the way we want it to be and grow the economy. Sawa sawa. Yes, I think I just wanted to add that so that we all know who's around. Even after this, you're able, please link up to either person that you feel you want. And let me give him a chance to mention to you about the Timea project, because that's one other place that all of you can benefit later on. Sawa, just 1 minute.
Oh yes, thank you very much. Voice yangu anga kubwa kidogo. Kwa hivyo ni sawa tu. But let me use this maybe for the purpose of that. My name is Maingi, as you've heard. I lead PPD, Public-Private Dialogue. What is that? It's a dialogue, kuongea, between the public sector and the private sector. Public, anything government, anybody who you have elected from the national government, president, executive, that is, and his ministries, then the legislature, that is the houses of parliament, and what's the other arm of government? Judiciary, the Chief Justice, and her team. So that is public, but now we have devolved systems, council of governors, counties, and the county assemblies. So we discuss that bit, and then the private sector. Anybody who is a non-state comes in as a private sector. I run a program, a Timea-funded program for ease of doing business in Kenya. What we are doing is we want to remove all those barriers of trade. Zile vitu metuwekea vikwazo that siwezi fanya biashara yangu vizuri, ndio najaribu kutoa. Jana nimekuwa hapa na leo kwa mkutano na watu wa Ports Authority. Maritime issues, ndio kama umeagiza gari yako Japan, isichukue mwezi moja pale port. Mbona unasumbuliwa KPA, then customs, then KEFIS, then sijui nani, hao wote. Jana launch single window ya maritime. And more like that. So we do a lot of work. We have 16 sector boards. All those are PPD efforts. So even sustainability is part of our work because we link government, especially Ministry of Environment and NEMA. Nilikuwa na NEMA jana, one of the key peoples we work with. And congratulations, SIB team and everyone who's worked here. I hope we can loop us in. Thank you for bringing Faith, hello Faith, kwa hii team, so that we can work together. I am available, my team and I, to support this program that is starting today. Nimesema ya maniendele. I can talk forever. I'm a politician in the making. Thank you very much. Have a good afternoon.
Thank you so much, Maingi. I see a hand at the tail end where Maingi is.
Okay, thank you. My name is Harry Solulu. First of all, it is not a concern, but to commend on the good job that the team is doing regarding success story, the follow-up on students who are previously on the session and how they're progressing after the session. I was also in KEPSA back in 2013. 2013, when they were being trained on life skills and entrepreneurship. I successfully completed. But what made me to go further is because back in 2013, those who had completed Form 4 were being trained at MTTI. And those who had progressed to university were being trained at KEMU. So KEMU is much better than MTTI. The infrastructure, there are beautiful ladies there. So that really motivated me to want to proceed so that I can also, when there is another KEPSA, I can join KEMU. So at least if there is a follow-up story and success story, so that those who had also previously attended KEPSA can come back and train fellow youths, so that they can also be motivated to progress to the next level. Because being enrolled
in KEPSA. I had finished my Form 4 level in 2012. I did not pass very well. So that was the only first college, even before driving and computer college. KEPSA was the first college that I had to join. So I was taken through KEPSA, I got a certificate in life skills and entrepreneurship. Then I wanted to study more. The money that I was being given for attachment, because we were taking for 3 months attachment, the course that you wanted, I had to enroll for my diploma classes. My sister took me through diploma, and I got the spirit of wanting to go more with my studies. Now I've done my degree, and I'm also applying for my master's come next year. So these are the success stories that we need to tell. We need to have those who have completed previously, the team that has just raised their hand, to make a follow-up and ensure that they come back and impact more knowledge to the other. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you very much for sharing that, because I think sometimes we hear that not enough. What happens actually once you run through a program? And what I also wanted to highlight is that especially these kind of topics and trainings are very much catered towards train the trainers as well. So your idea of training others and stay engaged and see what's happening and how you can transfer your skills, and not only skills and technical skills, but also attitude and business approach and mentality. I think it's very, very important, and that's also for this project going to happen, because it's not 100 people trained. I hope people talk at home. I hope at least you bring it home. You bring it at your household. You share with family. You share in the church. You are actually someone who's training, sometimes without knowing that you train others as well, and you tag them along. So thank you for sharing that, and I hope we can have that cycle that you went through. We can have that in any project we're doing. So thank you.
It's also nice to hear. I think you must have met the lady here in dreads and the gentleman there. I was about, because I was saying, Dr. Ehud and Ann Katule, who were leading that program that you were in previously. So it's nice to have you here, and it will be great to engage you also in business programs. So I would urge Proxides to have a conversation with him, also to have him join him through the training sessions, because we also want to have the people that we had impacted and gotten the knowledge to use that opportunity also to impact others in the same. Yeah. Any other question? I think I see your energy levels are deepening. Means you need some refill, some energy back to the system.
I just wanted to say, for the media, I know some of you want to have one-on-one, so we can have that after this in a little bit of a personal engagement with the present speakers and representatives.
It was that brief. So Josephine is our communications officer at Sustainable Inclusive Business, which is under Kenya Private Sector Alliance, our deputy CEO, as well as our project director, Bazu herself, Miss Karine Bomsma. I think I'll be using the name Bazu for a while, because I was surprised to see it at one of the eateries. I don't want to mention the name because that will be a free advertisement. They will need to pay me as a brand ambassador to be able to mention their name. So at this juncture, if we don't want to close any question out. So if you have a question, let me see your hand go up. Okay. I think we want to appreciate you, each and every one of you, for coming to the launch today. We want to encourage you to keep engaging with us. I don't know if now that we don't share cards so often, make sure to take a number down using your phone. But I think nowadays you have smart cards, right? Yeah. Where you have a code, you just take the code and it stores the information on your phone. So let's do that, and let's continue to interact even beyond this phase. We'll continue to interact with Honorable Samba, Chuda, Karibu Sana, as well as Honorable Civilizer, county government, and other partners that we have here that have been able to join us. We want to appreciate you, Asante Sana, and we'll be moving to the media session, and then we'll be heading for lunch. Praxidis, who is at the entrance, will be able to give you a, should I call it a ticket, that you'll be able to use as we head for lunch. So let's interact even during lunch. Let's have the conversations one-on-one beyond the media. So I'll ask Josephine to, because she's leading the communications, the people who she'll be inviting to the media, so that and give us direction, so that we proceed. So Sasteni Sana, and I want you to appreciate yourself and everyone that came here. So I'll be giving 3 this time. So when I say 1, 2, 3, give me 1. 1, 2, 3, give me 2. 1, 2, 3, give me 3. Are we on the same page? Are we together? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Awesome.
Asante Sana. Thank you for coming.